going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my MMA Corner number 11 video. Going over a couple topics that were sent to me, go into depth about them. First topic that was sent to me was from Zenmanjr. Wanted me to talk about with the UFC's move of buying the IFL, rumoredly. Of course, we haven't gotten official confirmation that they have fully acquired all of the IFL, or most of the IFL shares, and the video library and a lot of the contracts. Even though it seems like they have, with the acquisitions of Jim Miller, Rory Markham, so on and so forth. But nonetheless, the UFC's moved. How does it affect not only the heavyweight division, maybe with acquisitions of Roy Nelson, Ben Rothwell, but the rest of the divisions as far as Zuffa is concerned, with the WEC and the UFC? You'll see fighters come in that are possibly good fighters. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. You'll see fighters come in that will bring potentially good fights. You got guys like Chris Hordeski, guys like Ryan Schultz, that if they could, or they have gotten their contracts, would be great to see in the UFC. You've got guys like I said, Roy Nelson, Ben Rothwell. You already see Rory Markham in the UFC, Jim Miller coming in. These are some great acquisitions. And potentially have some good fights. You can see even Fabiano come in. That would be another great acquisition to the UFC. But the UFC, why are they doing this? Just like with Pride, I compare it to if you're walking down the beach. You leave your footprints in the sand. Slowly, the beach washes away the footprints, and you no longer have anything there. That's what the UFC is doing. They're getting rid of their competition. They're getting rid of promotions one by one that they can try to get rid of, that are left in the dust of their wake, so they feel. Don't be fooled, because the IFL and Pride left their mark in MMA. So that's something that I'm going to come back to here in just a little bit. Zwiz33, apologize about that, wanted me to cover a couple topics that he sent to me. Where do I go MMA-wise for forums or sites? And I'll just run over them real quick. MMA Playground, where I do predictions with a Fight Camp, MMA News, MMA Junkie, Sheerdog, or Sheerdog, however you wish to pronounce it. I know I get hit all the time about saying Sheerdog, Sheerdog, whichever one you wish to call it. Sometimes I go to different outside sources depending on what's out there. Sometimes on Google, another MMA site. Those are the main ones I go to, because they get most of the news that I'm looking for. Is Anderson Silva fighting Patrick Cote? Yes, because of the Yushin Okami incident. As far as his injury, I won't go into what my prediction is on that. Most of you probably know where I'm going to go with that, but we'll just leave it like it is. But yes, that fight's happening, and you will see that coming up here, I believe, either in October or November, one of the two. Why is the H in Hua? Just like any name from Brazil, the R is pronounced with an H. That's why you don't say Pedro Rizzo. That's why you don't say Royce Gracie. You say Royce. That's why you don't say Rua. You say Hua, like Marilla Ninja Hua or Mauricio Shogun Hua. That's why there's an H there. His last one is any update on Rampage Jackson. Of course, if you've been following Rampage, apparently the lady that he hit in the car had a miscarriage, and the DA is talking about pressing charges. They will not press charges as of yet, because they want to see what Rampage's mental condition and mental report was, and of course his medical evaluation. So we'll see how that ends up. Thanks for the topics, guys. Swizz and Zenmanjr. Then I have a combination of a couple topics from Beboybadboy and UFCManz. Has Pride left a legacy in MMA? If you don't feel that Pride has left a legacy in MMA, I don't think you're looking at it unbiasedly, because Pride has. And for guys like, for example, before Karsten, took over Jeremy's page, Jeremy, had been watching MMA since 2001. 2002, somewhere in that range, I remember him telling me. And, of course, for guys that are newer into the sport, guys like me that came in late 05, early 06 into MMA, Pride left a statement to a lot of people that have been watching MMA for years. You know, fights with Fedor, fights with, you know, Fedor Krokop, you know, Nogueira Fedor, Vanderlei Silva, Kazushi Sakuraba for the first ever middleweight title for 205. I mean, you know, pride will always be something to remember. Pride has left its mark in MMA, and like I said, if you're not looking at it unbiasedly, you're crazy to not think that it has. Why doesn't the UFC tap into the Japanese market? Too much corruption in the business standpoint of Japan with the Japanese mob. The UFC and any organization, be that, will never ever be able to tap into the telecommunications industry, will never be able to get into the TV and marketing media over in Japan because it's just so corrupt, and you will never see that happen. And when you hear Dana White say that, that's one thing I will agree with that he says. It's very hard to tap into that market, and if you don't believe me, ask any organization or any sporting organization that's tried to get into Japan, because they have a hell of a time trying to do it. Then UFCManz wanted me to cover why aren't guys in shape when they come into MMA. Guys like Travis Lutter, BJ Penn in the past, Karo Parisian. These are guys that they, you know, it seems like their attitude is that their talents alone will carry them in MMA. And BJ Penn is a different fighter now, so take him out of this equation. But in the past, you could have put him there. Look at any champion in any weight class, in any organization, and you will see that that fighter is a physical specimen. They put their bodies on the line, they push themselves, they're at the top of their game, they constantly refine their training, they constantly get better, and that's why they win fights. Guys that don't take and put time into their training, it shows in their fights. Travis Lutter, Karo Parisian, and BJ Penn in the past, yes. Look at any of those fights, you can see why. Have guys pulled off victories when they weren't in the best physical shape? Yes, BJ Penn's done it. Several guys have done it. But look at any top fighter right now, and you will see what I'm talking about when I say that they are physical specimens at the top of their game, and they push themselves to the limits. Why guys do it? They feel that their talents alone will carry them, which is not true. And unfortunately, it's a sad thing to see, because there are guys out there right now that have so much potential that if they just push themselves a little bit more, that could be great. So leave me some ideas, some comments on this video, some ideas for my next MMA Corner video. And on that note, you guys, have a great day.